To the highly sensitive soul who has learned to navigate the world by feeling everything, there is a final threshold you have not yet crossed. You've journeyed far, learning to read the unspoken currents in a room, carrying emotional weight not your own as a solemn duty. You've mastered attunement, but a deeper mastery awaits, one that feels less like compassion and more like a quiet, terrifying sovereignty. Most who share your profound sensitivity stop here, not from a lack of strength, but from a profound misunderstanding of where true strength originates. From your earliest days, an unspoken rule shaped you. Your gift was for others. Feel deeply, absorb completely, give endlessly, but never turn that profound perception inward to serve your own becoming. This was a survival strategy that has now become your most elegant prison. You learned that love was earned through emotional labor. That peace was your responsibility to broker. That your worth was tied to your utility as a haven for others. What began as a child's clever adaptation to a fragmented world has remained, like scaffolding left on a finished building, now blocking the light. You may mistake this enduring patience for spiritual maturity, but beneath that polished surface of service, something vital is calling for its own space. This isn't burnout. It's a soul-level withdrawal from a role that can no longer contain you. The soul withdraws its energy from forms it has outgrown. You'll notice it not as a dramatic crisis, but as a gradual cooling. The gestures that once filled you with purpose now feel hollow, performed by rote. The empathy is there, but the soul has taken a step back, observing. This is the beginning of a crucial undoing. The identity of the empath is built on a foundation of exquisite permeability. You have defined yourself through this capacity to resonate, to mirror, to hold space. Yet here lies the central conflict. True spiritual authority, not the kind you perform, but the kind you emanate, requires a different foundation, a core that can stand alone. This authority isn't about dominance. It's a gravitational pull that originates from a self no longer negotiating with its own fragmentation. It demands the capacity to let others sit in their own discomfort, to experience the natural consequences of their unconscious patterns without your intervention. To the empath, this feels like a profound betrayal of your very nature. It feels like coldness, like abandonment. Think of the ancient guide who leads travelers to the edge of a vast forest, points the way, but does not enter with them. Your instinct has always been to enter, to carry the lantern, to soothe the fears along the path. The final threshold asks if you can point the way and remain at the edge, trusting the journey belongs entirely to the traveler. Can your compassion survive without the act of carrying? This is the question that guards the gate. As this inner shift begins, a necessary disillusionment sets in. You start to see, with painful clarity, how your endless giving may have sometimes enabled stagnation, how your silent understanding might have preserved dysfunctional patterns. This realization is brutal if you take it as a moral failure. But see it symbolically. It is not an accusation. It is your soul reclaiming energy that was on loan to roles you no longer need to play. This phase is an inner dissolution. The comfortable, familiar structures of your personality, the healer, the peacemaker, the one who understands, begin to soften and blur. It feels like losing yourself. In many ways, it is. You are being stripped of the costumes you wore to belong. Naturally, you might retreat. You might seek out philosophies that glorify your sacrifice, that frame your exhaustion as enlightenment. These are not lies, but they are incomplete. They soothe the very identity that must now be dismantled for your next stage of growth. Passing this gate requires a colder, quieter courage, the willingness to disappoint, to be misunderstood, to let relationships reshuffle themselves without your constant mediation. To be whole, is to sometimes be seen as broken by the old world. After the dissolution comes a strange new ground. A kind of emotional neutrality descends. The constant inner noise of others' feelings, the urgent pull to fix and soothe, it diminishes. You may fear you are becoming indifferent, losing your gift. You haven't. You're differentiating between empathy and fusion. This is a time of sacred solitude. Your dreams may shift. Images of empty, clean rooms, of walking alone under a vast sky, of deep, still waters. These are not symbols of loneliness, but of space being cleared within. It's your psyche creating a throne room for your own authority. Here, you begin to embody a new kind of weight. Your words become fewer, but they land differently. You speak not to manage reactions, but to state what is true for you. You no longer rush to explain, to soften, to preemptively console. This simple, unadorned presence is the first whisper of real authority. Others, accustomed to your former permeability, may call this distance. They may accuse you of changing, and they are right. You are condensing. A scattered warmth is becoming a focused fire. The final barrier is not external. It is the most persuasive internal voice of all, the one wearing your own face. It asks, who are you if you're not needed? Who are you when you're no longer defined by your usefulness to others? The fear this triggers is not a fear of emptiness. It is the terrifying prospect of sovereignty. This is the last gate. It does not appear with fanfare. It appears in a series of quiet, daily moments. The moment you feel the old impulse to rescue, to manage, to explain, and you choose stillness instead. Not as a calculated tactic, but because your center simply does not move. In that stillness, the gate opens inward. You are not choosing to love less. You are choosing to love from an unassailable center, which means your love is no longer tied to exhaustion. Relationships that require your diminishment will fall away. Connections that can meet this new, grounded presence will deepen. Your world may become smaller, but every fiber of it will be real. What emerges on the other side is not a life of perpetual bliss, but of profound simplicity. The compulsive noise is gone. You act from alignment, not from obligation. Your sensitivity remains honed, refined, but it now serves your inner compass first. You perceive chaos, but no longer feel compelled to battle it on everyone's behalf. You understand that some storms belong to the cosmos, and some journeys must be walked alone. This is the incarnation of the mature soul. Compassion transforms into a deep respect for the sovereignty of other paths, even the ones that choose sleep. You may give again, deeply, but you will not disappear in the giving. You may love fiercely, but you will not dissolve to sustain it. If these words resonate with a quiet knowing in your chest, the work has already begun. You're standing at that threshold. The ache you feel is not for the old role, but for the courage to fully inhabit the authority you have always carried within. This journey is yours alone. No one can witness this crossing, for it often looks like quiet withdrawal from the outside. But the universe recognizes it. Your life will reorganize itself around this new, silent gravity. Thank you for listening. If this exploration of depth and sovereignty spoke to you, please like this video. It supports this channel, Winds of Thought, in creating more content for those navigating the inner realms. Subscribe for deeper explorations into psychology and the journey of awakening.